All right, now it's time to have some coffee fun and learn some new techniques. And joining me is Nick Beradi, who is their coffee roaster and director of coffee. Hello, Nick.
Hi, how you doing?
How are you?
Groovy, lots of coffee today.
I was about to say, you should be hyped.
Yeah, decaf and the good stuff too.
Yes, okay, so you drink decaf?
Well, we have to quality control everything we do.
Okay.
Make sure we're buying good decaf as well.
Yes.
You know, I want to take my mom out to get coffee every once in a while. She can't have the strong stuff anymore.
Okay, so you have to level it off. Well, I feel like you would be the best person to take out for coffee because you know so much about it, being a roaster. So kind of just tell me, what is a roaster and how long have you been doing it?
Well, I've been in coffee in different sectors of the industry for a couple decades now.
Wow.
Been roasting coffee specifically for about 3.5 years. In the early part of my career, I was able to win a little championship thing. It's not a big deal.
Okay.
But the other roaster here at Utopian Coffee, Adam Walsh, is also a decorated coffee roaster. Wow. And so that's one of the things that we're learning every day, bouncing ideas off each other. And it's really just about experiencing coffee. And the way we do that is by cupping most of the time.
Yeah, so that is a technique that we're going to learn today. And I'm excited because I am such a coffee enthusiast. So I love just the experience of it. I like it dark, gritty, bold. So I know that you all have such an assortment at Utopian. And let's talk about your actual roastery. So downstairs, it is huge.
It's pretty big, yeah.
You have a lot of things going on. So kind of talk me through some of the processes that happen downstairs.
Well, it usually starts around the cupping table, and this is the international standard of how we judge coffee. So when I was in Peru about a month and a half ago, we did this exact same thing, the exact same setup. Once we just do that to decide which coffee we're gonna buy, then we profile it on a roaster that really only does 50 grams at a time, which is basically 2 of these cups.
Okay.
Then we decide how we're gonna use the coffee and whether we're gonna roast it on the 70 kilo roaster or the 25 kilo roaster. Some of the more refined, specialized coffees go on the smaller roaster. And then we get to drink it, make sure it's good, which is just the best part of my day.
Right, yes, absolutely. Okay, well, let's start off with the cupping. So what is cupping and where do we start? Well,
it's not the massage cupping where they put the little suction things on your back. We start by judging olfactory sensations. We steal a lot of terminology from wine. So fragrance is smelling the dry grounds, which we have in front of us here. Okay. So you have on that side, that's Obsidian. That's a regenerative, organic, certified dark roast. It's not the darkest of the dark roast. Okay. I say I go for roast, not toast. So we're looking for like a marshmallowy sort of sweetness coming out of that. I've got a juicy and vibrant light roast Ecuador here. So we just shake it around, release some of the volatile organic compounds, and then just go right in there.
Like this sniff.
Well, you did something not a lot of people know. When you sniff rapid fire like that, it refires your synapses. So you're already a professional. I knew you weren't lying to me. We'll trade off here if you want to smell this one.
I really like that one. I was about to
Big
go
difference
back
between
in.
these two. So more nuanced, interesting, more acidic. But that's what what you were talking about is we roast for everybody here at Utopian. What you have right there is our everyday drinker coffee. The Daily Driver Union is a blend that is just a good old any time of day, drink a cup of coffee.
I'm so fascinated in the types of, is this with a, what is it called? There's a word for it, when the bean is a lighter color.
There's a little bit of the chaff that comes out in the middle there.
Yeah, what is that?
It's just, the coffee bean is actually the seed of a very specific species of cherry. And so when it's roasted, there's a little silver skin around the coffee bean that as it expands, it releases.
Blonde. That's what I was thinking of. Oh
yeah, you'd see it in like the blonde roast at Starbucks or something like that. In the darker roast coffees, that stuff kind of burns up and filters away in the fan through the roaster, but you will see it more in the light roast coffees there. So that's more of like a medium-ish light coffee. A little bit more nuanced than like your average diner coffee, but it's going to be just right in the middle of the road, balanced for everybody.
Okay, good.
This one I have here, I do that. I usually get the coffee unibrow. This one I have here is a little too fresh. You can have coffee that's too fresh.
Really?
It comes out of the roaster. We need to rest it at least a couple days before we actually drink it because it's kind of chaotic with a lot of stuff going on. This one here, I'll trade you.
Yeah.
I get a lot of berry and like cardamom spice out of it, but it's a little too fresh. So we actually, that coffee, just yesterday, were awarded 96 points at Coffee Review, a website that's like the authority on judging coffee. Well, we're about to find out.
It smells like a granola bar.
Yeah, that honey-like sweetness to it. One of the next stages, though, before we get to the tasting, is go ahead and give you one of these spoons. Is the aroma, which we have to be hoity-toity. Aroma is different than fragrance. Okay. So this crust that has settled onto the top of these cups, we're going to push that back with the spoon and bend over and smell it as we do that.
Okay, so basically the grounds that we just smelled, you have added water to it and it has steeped. So that's what we're looking at with this crusted top that you were talking about, right?
Yeah. So after the coffee steeps for around 4 minutes or so, we'll go ahead and take our spoons, point them away from ourselves like this. Okay. And then we get right on top of this and just push that back and sniff in. Take a big old whiff and just rinse your spoon. And I'm going to let you do the other 3 on the table there. So what we get from the aroma and the fragrance are going to be similar, but you're going to get little differences and a little more intensity here and there from different things.
Okay, interesting, very interesting. Okay. Boop, boop. Ooh. I smelled that berry in that one.
There's a lot going on there. You did that like a professional. You sure you haven't done this before?
I've never done this. I was a little concerned I was going to dip my nose in.
That's one of those things is, one of the things we focus on here at Utopian Coffee is making sure that it's approachable and accessible. Just because this says 96 points on it or this is a super rare processing of a coffee, we still want to make sure that it's not like an emperor has no clothes kind of situation. That's a lot of modern coffee. People focus on trying to be too creative. And it's like, nah, like it's just got to be objectively pleasing in the first place.
So let's talk about that. So this cupping process, what does it do in a sense of, because you say you do this every day, and to a viewer, how does it impact them, this process that you're doing?
It ensures that you're getting the most consistent, high quality product possible because, for instance, our Obsidian over there, the dark roast, we could buy lesser coffee and toast it up and cover up defective flavors. But we use this, we fill out a score sheet that's on a 100-point scale. It's got 10 or 12 different categories that we fill out for each one depending on how we're doing it to ensure that throughout the coffee, it is consistent cup to cup to cup. So when we do this for quality control, we'll do 5 cups of each coffee. And if one cup is different, we got a problem.
Wow.
So that's something just ensures that when you're spending your hard-earned money on coffee, you could choose to get the the can of Folgers or something, but if you want to treat yourself, you don't want to go someplace and treat yourself and be disappointed. And that's one of the reasons why we do this every day.
I love that. That's a lot of care and specificity when it comes to making sure that the process is refined. So love it. Okay, so what is next?
Well, next I'm going to clear these out of the way.
Okay.
Because they're still ripping hot and we want to be able to actually taste the coffee. So I'm going to set us up each with a set to taste.
Okay.
So first cup here on each of our lefts is going to be the Ecuador. Then we have the Ethiopia Alia Bombay, the Union Blend, and the Obsidian. And so now these have been sitting for about 15 or 20 minutes. What we're gonna do here is, and this is why you have the apron and I have my coffee stained shirt, we'll start on the left. So we each have our own set here. We'll just get a little bit of coffee in the spoon.
Okay, I'm gonna watch you first.
Yep, bring it up to us here and give it a... Everybody gets so caught up in the sound.
These sounds today are amazing. Okay.
So when we do that and aspirate the coffee like that, it's to spread it all over the entire mouth.
Let me see if I can do it.
You don't got to worry about trying too hard on it. It's just making sure you taste. As long as the coffee ends up in your mouth, we're in a good spot. And that's why we always have aprons, because even us professionals get it. We get a little covered there. Okay. We just go ahead and make sure that we rinse our spoons in between the cups so there's no cross-contamination, and keep the clarity of flavors in each one. One of the gentlemen I cupped with in Peru when we went down there on our sourcing trip to establish more regenerative, organic certified relationships, his name was A. Bear, and the way he slurped coffee, it went through his 2 front teeth and whistled.
Oh!
I can't quite do that.
You can do it, come on.
So you should be getting the full spectrum of the flavors there, where it's, even though this coffee doesn't look as dark as the darkest roast, it's really developed. It's almost like brisket, slow and low. So instead of burning the outside, we just really develop the inside.
So what is the point of taking the sip off of the top level instead of just taking it and taking a sip like that?
Gotcha. Well, even though we broke the crust with the spoon, most of the grounds of the coffee fell to the bottom of the cup. So if we pick that up and take a sip, we're getting a mouthful of grounds.
Okay.
This also allows us then we normally share cups around the table when we do quality control in the morning. So that way we can each taste every single cup easier rather than them getting out of order or something like that.
And this is a special, is this an actual cupping spoon?
Yeah, we have
I've never
our
seen a spoon like
fun
this.
little toys, different shaped spoons, things like that. People prefer different things. But the idea is really just so we can fully immerse ourselves into the coffees, to where this one's more vibrant. This is kind of like enveloping. Our obsidian makes me think of like sitting in a leather chair or something like that, you know? Just a full spectrum of experience that we can give the coffee drinker, because the idea is that, yes, we're local roaster here in Fort Wayne, founded and independently owned by one of Fort Wayne's native sons, but you know, servicing the greater United States area is the way I like to see it. We want to make sure that there's coffee for everybody here, and the easiest way to do that is make sure that we have an open mind and drink it all.
Yeah, and having experts like you.
Well, and
testing
fun people to drink coffee with too.
Right. Well, thank you so much, Nick. I appreciate you teaching me how to cup. So thrilled to learn something new today.
You guys are welcome back anytime.
Thank you. And if you would like more information about Utopian Coffee, we'll have their website listed below, and they are also located on the landing in downtown Fort Wayne. And I'll see you after the break.